Hello, welcome to another episode of Asexualise, my asexual life. This is a place to be for education about asexuality, all things asexualized, showing my own asexual life journey in order to help yours. If you haven't already subscribed, hit that great big subscribe button below, right here, right now. Please hit that bell icon so you get notified of every time I go live like now, post a new video. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you find the content useful, helpful, insightful in any way, shape or form. I just want to give this channel some love. I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. Today I've got a very, very special episode. But right now, if you don't know who I am Sandra Bellamy, author of this awesome Asexual Perspectives, 47 Asexual Stories, Love, Life and Sex, A Celebration of Asexual Diversity book. And I'm also the owner of Asexualise Academy, the founder of asexualise.com, and I'm an asexuality coach, specialising in dating and relationships. So this video has been recorded on the 16th of October. Oh, we've just gone through to the 17th of October now because it's just hit midnight. And I was pleased to say that on the 15th of October, which is just gone, this channel is over 5 years old. It officially launched on the 15th of October, 2015. And that's when this channel officially launched its first video officially, but there was another video on there before then. So basically in October 2015 is when it launched. And I just wanted to recap some of what's gone on in my asexual life journey. So this channel, and thank you for over 800 subscribers here. I really appreciate I really appreciate every single one of you. I'm a bit sleepy tonight, so you have to excuse me. Yes, so basically this channel has been going for 5 years now. I've been helping asexuals for 5 years. Now, if you didn't know, I discovered I was asexual in 2014. And it's been one heck of a journey since then. So in 2014, around March, April time, it was actually March I first discovered it, going towards April when I first came to full terms with it. But it was in March I discovered I'm asexual, March 2014. And it's been a heck of a life journey. Really, it has, this channel. It's been incredible. You know, you can see my journey documented throughout this time. But basically, I found out I was asexual because I went to see a counsellor for the fact that I couldn't stand dating sexuals anymore, for the expectation of sex at the end of the night would just make me feel like I was going to wet myself. It's really horrible. It wasn't nice at all. And it made me feel really anxious and nervous. I just couldn't do that anymore. And so she said I would have to have sex if I wanted to keep a good guy. And that really horrified me. You know, no person should be made to feel that the only way you can keep someone is by giving them sex. You know, and it's a very dangerous thing to say, you know. Anyway, prior to that, I'd never discussed sex before with anyone apart from a person I was in a relationship with. I hadn't discussed it with any friends. I didn't usually discuss anything like that, remotely like that, with my parents. No one. Diddly squat, right? And then in October 2015, it was actually for Asexual Awareness Week that I decided to, you know, launch this channel. Come out as asexual on this channel, and I decided that I would have to talk about sex if I wanted to do this channel. And I knew that it meant me really, really being so brave, because I'd always kept that type of thing private. You know, it was something that was just between me and the person that I was in the relationship with. I was a very, very shy person in that respect, very keep things quiet and to myself. I could make sex jokes that weren't aimed directly at me or anything to do with my actual sex life, if you like. But in terms of actual sex itself, it wouldn't be discussed. You know, I wouldn't even discuss it with best female friends. You know, it didn't happen. And so I knew on this channel that I was getting asked so many questions. Like, because I do this channel, I used to get private messages all the time. Like, I don't do asexuality coaching for free now. I mean, I do obviously a lot of coaching on this channel for free for asexuals, but in terms of one-to-one, I don't do that free anymore. You know, I know so much about asexuality by now, you know, and I've put a lot of time, energy, and effort into this channel for free. So if people want more specific advice to help them in their dating relationships or just asexual life, I do charge for that. You know, I don't do one-to-one stuff free. I mean, I was years ago when I first started, it was kind of, I was getting messaged like sometimes 3 whole hours with trying to help a person decide what type of asexual they were because they wanted my help. You know, that's not something I can afford to do now. You know, I've learned a lot about asexuality, you know, and I am on this channel far more than I was back then, giving free advice all the time. And I think, you know, you pay for what you get. If you really want in-depth help, advice, and guidance, then, you know, just like you would if you saw a therapist. I'm not a therapist, but I'm a coach. Just if you saw a therapist, so you'd pay for that, wouldn't you? So it's the same type of thing, you know. And it's for someone who specialises in what you're interested in. So back then, you know, 2015, I got asked a lot of questions, and one of the things that kept cropping up is, can asexuals masturbate? You know, do people who are asexual masturbate? If I masturbate, can I be asexual? It's pretty much centered around masturbation, right? And masturbation is a very taboo topic in the asexual community because some people think it's disgusting, and why would you even want to do that? Because it's a sexual act with yourself. And other people think it's nice, it's a way to relieve stress, it's good for the body, and it's healthy. So it's really split. And you know, I hadn't even tried masturbation until I found out I was asexual. I always thought it was gross, disgusting, made me want to vomit at the thought of it. And then in 2014, I lost my grandma, to be quite frank with you. And I kind of was thinking, oh, like, life's too short. Let's try it once, right? So I decided to try it. And I did realize it kind of get a bit addictive, actually. I don't do much of that these days. But it used to make me feel sick at the same time. But even talking about it now, I can talk about it. But back then, I was so super shy. And it, you know, like putting yourself out on the internet like that's quite difficult. It really is. It's not an easy thing to do. And you really have to force yourself and push yourself through your fears and boundaries to help others. But I knew that if I was going to help asexuals on a grand scale, that's what I would need to do. I would need to get out of my comfort zone in order to help others. And because I'm a born natural leader, it's best if I be as open and blunt and honest and upright and upfront as possible, to help others. You know, I have the philosophy nowadays that I can't, you know, if I take my secrets to the grave, what good are they going to do anyone? Like, what good are they going to do anyone? Do you know what I mean? The information I have from my life experience can be used to help others. If I just keep it with me as a secret and bury it, it's not good to anyone, right? And I think it does take certain people to be less, you know, selfish like that. I think it's, you know, to be more selfless, to actually get out their comfort zone and put themselves out there and put themselves in what others would see a more vulnerable position. I don't consider myself in a vulnerable position because I'm so open and honest about my life and what I do in most aspects of it. You know, there's a side to my life that you don't see on this channel. There is some side, you know, like family stuff, and obviously my friends share a lot of secrets with me, but you do know a lot of stuff about me, you know. Even my dad's like, well, some of the, you know, the things you say on your channel are stuff that me and your mum didn't even know. So my dad watches the channel. Hi Ray, hi Sandra, nice to see you after so long. Oh, lovely to see you. Thanks for the thumbs up. I'm talking about my life journey over the last 5 years on this channel. And so, you know, I do share a lot of stuff on this channel that is very taboo a lot of the time. Some of it's very controversial. And it is way out of my comfort zone. You know, talking about personal stuff isn't the most easiest thing. And now I've got so used to talking about it, it just kind of like rolls off my tongue, and I don't even think about it a lot of the time. But sometimes I get a little bit squeamish, like, oh, you're such a you're sharing such personal stuff, Sandra. What are you doing? Do you really want to do this? Yes. But because I share so much, I don't consider myself in a vulnerable position, because people ain't got nothing on me. Do you know what I mean? There's no real secrets. There's nothing that's hidden. There's nothing people don't know about me. So it's not like I can say, oh, she did this, she did that, because I've already told you I've done it. Do you know what I mean? I'm very open. I'm open to the fact that I have great areas of my asexuality, that I have some erogenous side to my character despite being asexual. I'm very upfront and honest about all this type of thing, you know? And so actually, like, being open makes you less vulnerable in a way, because people can't pin stuff on you because you've already said it about yourselves. There's nothing to hide and nothing to gain. Anyway, so back then in 2014, and I found out as asexual, like I said. 2015 October was when I started this channel. That's when I came out to the world about being asexual. I was still very nervous on this channel back then. And so, you know, as time's progressed, it was in 2014, which is when I first thought, I've got an Indian asexual soulmate. And the reason for this is because I spoke to some Indian asexual guy, and I was really romantically attracted to him. And then throughout that year, there was another guy that I talked to who was Indian, but he wasn't asexual. And I just really realized that I had such an instant connection with Indian guys. I had like this deep emotional way of connecting to them, like, very quickly. I'm not sure that's always a good thing, but I noticed, you know, like, as the time progressed over the years, that I have the most connection usually with Indian guys, the most spiritual connection, the most aesthetic connection, the most romantic connection. Kind of like, you know, my mom, you know, like, I have 7 different types of attraction: romantic attraction, emotional attraction, spiritual attraction, clothes attraction, aesthetic attraction, creative attraction, and intelligence attraction, right? So for Indian guys, you usually have all the 7 attractions, or the majority of them. And so I worked out that I believe I have an Indian soulmate. And do I still believe that? Yeah, I do actually still believe that, right? Because I just intuitively know it. And I believe, like, from a past life, I knew him. Whether or not I'll meet him in this life, I'm not completely sure. I think I will, but I don't know. And so, yeah, so that's where that came from, basically, over the years. But, you know, Indian guys want sex usually if they're not asexual. If they're asexual, they usually still want marriage. And I don't want marriage. I don't want marriage. I don't want kids. I don't want to live together. And I don't like the housewife role. And so, therefore, I don't actually match Indian culture very much at all. I don't even match my own culture, because my mum actually is a traditional housewife to my dad, and my mum and dad have been married for 51 years. It really works for them having that traditional type of relationship, but I just don't like that at all. For me personally, I can't stand it. It's the opposite to what I'd want. So anyway, this was a channel that I uploaded a video to about once a week, if that, sometimes. And then in July 2000, oh yeah, and so every July, since July 2017, when I printed the print version of this Asexual Perspectives book, because it came out in January 2017, the ebook, the Kindle book. When I published this under my own imprint in July 2017, it was a dream come true, a double whammy dream come true. One is because, you know, it's an asexual book, and it took me it took me about a year to write this book and interview everyone in it and publish it in Kindle. It took me another 6 months to get it out in print. And so, you know, this was such an amazing, amazing triumph, you know, for asexuality. And it's got everything that people kept asking me in private message, like, can asexuals masturbate? Do asexuals watch porn? Do asexuals like BDSM and kinks? You know, is this arousal? Is this sexual attraction? Is this sexual desire? And all these type of really hard-hitting questions are in this book that I answered, right? So this came out into print, and the double whammy good thing about this is it's under my own imprint called Quirky Books, right? So Quirky Books, I registered in 2017 as a publisher in the UK. It's a registered publisher. So basically, I've got my own publishing company. And Quirky Books was a dream of mine. I started a blog in 2010 called quirkybooks.wordpress.com. So that's way before I started helping asexuals. And, you know, I'd always had a dream that I would own a publishing company called Quirky Books, which I do. So this is like where it came in, and it was published under that, you know. And so that was back in 2017. And then and every year, every July from then onwards, I used to read out from the book. So for the last like 3 years now, I've read excerpts out of this book on Asexual Perspectives Awareness Month. So every July I have an Asexual Perspectives Awareness Month, which is to go with the book, which is to celebrate our diversity across the asexual spectrum and our differences within it. So so in July 2018, I then decided, rather than just doing a video upload for a week for Asexual Perspectives Awareness Week, rather than just for Asexual Perspectives Awareness Month in July, me just reading excerpts out and posting that video after editing, I decided that I would go live. And since July 2018, I've been going live most days ever since. Now, I would like to say every day, because I do advertise this as a daily chat show, but unfortunately, life does get in the way sometimes. So the first year, the rest of the 2018, nearly all the days I used to do a live stream. And then my friend went into hospital, and towards the end of the year, it got, you know, when I'm away at my parents' for Christmas, no Wi-Fi. Very easily. Well, there is Wi-Fi, but it's you know, I can't basically now I can't use an iPad for streaming this. Thank you very much. Lots of love. I can't use an iPad for streaming this until I've reached over 1,000 followers and a certain amount of watch time. But back in 2018 is when I decided to go live on my Mac, basically, and I've been going live ever since. And I do try to do it daily, but sometimes, like, especially lately, I've got a new full-time job that's taking a lot of adjustment, you know, because I haven't worked for an actual employer for 3 years because I've been working from home. Unfortunately, I don't make enough money to continue working from home. And so I've gone back into a job that's a store sales manager role. So it's a very high up job, and it's very physically demanding on my body. So last year, I actually published this book, which is my fibromyalgia self-help handbook, how to manage fibromyalgia to have less pain, more energy, and feel happy like a superhero rock star. And I talk about this on this channel because I know a lot of asexuals actually have depression, anxiety, which is what a lot of people with fibro actually have. And so Ray says I'm Indian. Oh, bless you. And then, you know, so basically I decided to release this. Now, this is how literally to manage fibromyalgia, but it also teaches you how to manage anxiety better and how to lower depression. It is a self-help guide, and I'm known as Ace Fibro Girl because I'm asexual. Ace stands for asexual, and Fibro Girl. So this again is published under my own publishing company called Quirky Books, you know. And I just, you know, I talk about asexuality in the book. So there is a chapter to do with sex, and it's talking about asexuality. So it's very, very important read. If you haven't, don't forget to get these books in the links below. So yeah, so I literally started streaming in July 2018, and I do it most days. Sometimes I'm just like, I was poorly as well and couldn't do it. But basically, it's a daily chat show for asexuals. So what was once a weekly uploaded video channel is now a live chat show for asexuals. And I think that's what's unique about this channel is people can chat to me and other asexuals in the chat in real time. There's no other show for asexuals on the planet that does this, you know, that actually has a person who hosts a chat show, and you're able to talk to her live in chat about anything you want to do with asexuality or anything crops up, and also chat amongst each other live. You know, there's people that do occasionally go live streaming when they're asexual, but they don't do a regular show like this, right? And this is why this is an experience like no other, because, you know, when you feel it's hard to find another asexual person, and then all of a sudden you got me and a whole little community in chat there, you feel a great more deeper sense of belonging, of purpose, of community, and it gives you experience like no other, you know. And you can see my whole life journeys documented, and it's all, this channel is all about how to live an asexual life. It's asexuality in real life context, which is very different. You know, I'm constantly sharing my journey, my ups and downs, my whole life, you know, guys that I've been interested in, I've been rejected by, situations that have been uncomfortable for me with sexuals, you know, like being in sexual dating groups again after quite a long time of not being on them, and you know, people not understanding asexuality, and you know, just in general my life and how it's been, you know, in an asexual context. And I think it just brings it to reality in life, you know. There's nothing like it, knowing just, you know, like, how does asexuality work on a day-to-day basis? How does it work if you're in a job? How does it work if you're dating? How does that work in relationship terms? How does that work with family, with parents? How does it work? How does it work daily when you're constantly bombarded with sexual imagery and sexual adverts and sexual films? You know, how do you actually cope with that? How do you live an asexual life which is happy, fulfilling, and vibrating at a high level? How do you actually feel empowered, and how do you feel so good to be asexual? You know, this is what the channel is all about. It's basically a personal professional development channel for asexuals and asexuality, focusing quite a lot of dating and relationships, and also includes friendships and that, as well as building relationships. And so, you know, this channel is basically personal and professional development for asexuals. And so this is how it's evolved over the years. I you know, I've not got as many subscribers as some other channels, but there is a lot of people that have viewed this channel, and it's helped to spread awareness of asexuality. So the situation is, like, over the years, over the last 5 years, I've always sort of have an Indian asexual soulmate. I haven't found that guy yet. I live in hope, but at the moment I do like a British guy, I'm going to be honest with you, which I've mentioned lately, which has took me quite by surprise, because I don't usually get that attracted to British guys, as you know. I've said this before, but then obviously for me, it's like, what happens to your Indian soulmate? Because you know you've got an Indian soulmate out there, so that's kind of difficult. It's like, have I got two soulmates, or what's going on with that? I don't know. But as always, it's my asexual life journey that I share with you. But I always believe I get an Indian soulmate. I can't not believe that or help that. Do you know what I mean? It's just kind of inbuilt into me. So yeah, so it's all very strange, you know, and strange times we're living in at the moment, you know, and yeah, very strange. So basically, at the moment, you know, the situation is, after 3 years of not working for an employer, I've gone back into a full-time job, which makes it streaming a little bit more difficult because I get really sleepy. And I've had time, though, in the last few hours to work on my Asexual Guide to Sex book. So if you didn't know, obviously I told you I got my Asexual Perspectives book published in 2017. I've actually got an Asexual Guide to Sex book that I've been working on for over a year now. June 2019 I started it. And in the book is going to be a total of about 19 asexuals, including myself. And Asexual Guide to Sex isn't a book that tells asexuals they should be having sex or they need to have it. It's quite the opposite. It's basically designed for those asexuals who are contemplating having sex for the first time. I don't know what the heck they're doing. They're worried and scared, but they really want to consider it. And it's a book that's basically saying, do not have sex until you've read me. Do you know what I mean? So the Asexual Guide to Sex book has real life asexual sex stories. You know, what happened when asexuals lost their virginity, how it made them feel, how they view the relationship in that asexual way, all about boundaries and assertiveness and how to set those. And it's basically got every question answered that you could possibly think of if you're asexual and thinking about having sex for the first time, or even if you're not asexual, you know? Now, the Asexual Guide to Sex book for me, where I visage, I can't even say the words at the moment, where I can see you know, the Asexual Guide to Sex book going. I honestly believe the Asexual Guide to Sex book could be the unlocking of our whole sexuality to the world. You know, I really believe the Asexual Guide to Sex book could change people's lives forever and change the course of history where sexuality and asexuality is concerned. I honestly believe that. So once I've published the book, I'm going to be trying to push it into various places that I've never tried before, you know. I'd actually love it if it was at all possible to get into any schools. I'd really love that, or universities or colleges. I don't know how I'm going to make that happen, but it's not something I've talked about live on this channel before. Excuse me. But it's something I've thought about a lot. So I'm going to get some rest in a minute. I don't want to start coughing. I haven't coughed before. So it's something that I need to work on, the Asexual Guide to Sex, you know. So if you want to know what's happening with that, I've just got I'm working, just going through the final bits of Rosa's story that you can't see because I don't want you to see it, but that's Rosa's story. And then I've got one more other person's to go, and then it's mine. And my bit and my story is a huge chunk of the book, so it's going to take me quite a while to intensely work on that. But I'm so happy to be working on it. Like, writing is my life purpose. Asexuality is my life purpose. I want to change more lives through the written word. I don't know why I'm coughing. It's not good. So anyway, I need some rest. But yeah, so basically I'm going to be keeping this YouTube channel as a chat show for asexuals. I won't be able to stream as long probably as I used to because I do have a full-time employed job now, which is quite demanding. Physically, I'm on my feet most of the day, and I've got fibromyalgia, as I've said recently. So it's a lot on my body. But I come home and I managed to like get a lot of the book done tonight. I managed to put 3 stories that have been completed actually in the main book. I managed to change some of the wording around and the second part of the book of some of the stories. There's a few bits that weren't coherent in terms of they weren't written out exactly the same way, so I've sorted that out. And I'm just like, yeah, Roses I've just printed off a while ago, and I'm just making final little bits of amendments, and that'll be good to go. And then I've just got one more person. So I'm making a lot of progress with the Asexual Guide to Sex, but there's a lot of people that want the book. I mean, literally, it will show you exactly how asexuals think differently in terms of sex. Like you've never seen it before. People cannot deny asexuality exists when they read the Asexual Guide to Sex book. It's impossible, because you actually get into the minds of the people that have had sex who are asexual. You get to understand how their mind works, how they tick, how they are, you know? And so, yeah, it's just an important book, and I really want to get it pushed out to as many places as I can. So once the Asexual Guide to Sex book is published, I'll be spending a lot of time focusing on, you know, promoting it, getting it out to different places, getting it, you know, viewed in more places. So I'm really looking forward to doing that. I do believe it's the book of the whole century. I do believe it's the most fantastic read anyone can ever have who's interested in intimate relationships. And I do think it's just going to take the world by storm, you know. I would absolutely love it if I sold a lot of copies of the Asexual Guide to Sex book and it became a bestseller. One, because obviously asexuality is a sexual orientation that I need to get recognised globally, so that no asexual has to live in fear of ridicule ever again, and that you know, children don't grow up believing that they've got to have sex in order to get love, and love and sex go together in a relationship. They very much don't, not unless you put them together, you know. So I really want to get the Asexual Guide to Sex book out. I mean, for people who are sex repulsed and they're like, what the hell are you doing writing a book about sex for asexuals? You have to understand that this is not about me or you. This is about the general asexual population. This is about the asexual community as a whole. This is about showing people what it's really like for asexuals to have sex. It was about time we had our say instead of glorifying it all the time. And this is a book that's going to help all those asexuals that are in a relationship with a sexual person and thinking about trying it for the first time ever. You know, this is the book to read, and this has got the good, the bad, and the ugly about sex, not sugarcoat it like most publishers want to sugarcoat things. They want you to see only a fraction of the truth, whereas the book is very explicit. Now, I've been working on some stories with some of the interviewees for over 6 months or more. That's a lot of hours of backwards and forwards email between me and the people who've taken part in the book, you know, and I can't be more happier. I mean, The Asexual Guide to Sex, I literally think will be the best book in the world. Of course, I'm a bit biased, but I do think that, you know, it's certainly the best book ever about sex, without a shadow of a doubt. I mean, any people who are not even asexual or virgins could read it and get a load of advice. I wish I'd had this book when I was 16 and asked, rather pressurized into sex for the first time, because I would have felt much more confident and comfortable and understood things more had I got the book. So yeah, it's really important I continue the work for asexuals. This channel is growing in its community slowly but surely. And I really appreciate every single one of you here. You know, I couldn't do this channel without you. It means the world to me. And I really do. I really do believe asexuality needs to be recognised globally. I was going to say number 2, right? I would love to sell loads of copies, because 1 is for the asexuality and 2 is for the writing, because the writing is my main life purpose. You know, if I earn a good amount of money through the books, I could not have to work in my new employed job and work from home and then do more work for asexuals again. Because it's hard when you've got a full-time job. It's hard to be able to do as much for asexuals, because I'm having to come home, cook food for the next day, and then, you know, and it is very demanding physically job. So, you know, if I was to work from home, I could help more asexuals continue to do a lot more, like I have done for the last 3 years. But obviously, I've got to keep a roof over my head and food in my belly. So unless that was to happen, then I have to be an employed job. But the good thing about being an employed job means I don't have to worry so much about money, and I can concentrate more on asexuality for the pure joy of it. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's very, very important. Ray wants to say I'm in bed with a piglet. Is Piglet the name of a dog, or is it actually the fact that you work on a farm and you're in bed with a piglet, Ray? I don't know which one it is. Is it a dog called Piglet, or is that actually a physical piglet? Because I know you work on a farm now, don't you? That's funny. I remember back in the day, which makes me sound very young. I remember I used to get these Piglet crisps. They used to be crisps in the shape of pigs, and you could crush them with your fingers and eat them, and they were really tasty. And I remember haunted house spaghetti, when I could eat spaghetti. And then literally the haunted house spaghetti used to have like ghosts and a house and all sorts of stuff. It was so cool. This is remembering stuff from my... Oh, thanks for the thumbs up for that. You know, so yeah, so on this channel, I just want to grow more awareness of asexuality. I want this channel community to grow and get bigger. Sam, oh, lots of love to you. Nice to see you. You've changed your profile picture. What's gone on? I'm feeling sleepy now as well. Very sleepy. So yeah, so I was saying I want this channel to grow, thrive, and flourish. I want more and more people to join the community here, because it's very much, it's a place to hang out. You know, there's not many places on the asexual scene where you can hang out in live chat in a proper community regularly. Do you know what I mean? And so, you know, I have a lot of vision for this channel, for it growing and becoming bigger and bigger and bigger, becoming more of a focal point for people who want to know about asexuality. It is getting more and more known. Like, I have to say hello to a heterosexual guy who lives in my city, or at least did live in my city. I think he still does. Who I met at a business meeting, and he is heterosexual, but been seeing a woman who's asexual, and he contacted me via my Asexualise page. Now, I can't go into details about stuff because it's private, but, you know, he was asking me basically about asexuality, and he watches this channel. And so even though he's not asexual himself, he really wants to understand this female that's come into his life that's asexual and get to know her better on a deeper level and understand her asexuality. And I just think that's incredible. And he watches this show a lot, so hello. And he finds the channel really helpful and insightful, and he finds that it gives him a lot of perspective into how asexuals, you know, minds work, how asexuality really is. And, you know, for me, that's just the icing on the cake, as it were, because not only am I here to help asexuals in their own asexual life journey and to empower asexuals to feel more comfortable and confident in their own skin and to be able to see how asexuality can thrive and flourish in real life contexts, it's important to me that I educate sexuals, that sexuals are able to see the beauty of asexuals. Like, one thing I will share is that he said, oh, that the woman he's interested in who's asexual is you know, she is very different. And I said, that's the beauty of asexuals, we are very different. And I did mention you, Eddie. Thank you for saying congrats on 5 years. I did mention to the heterosexual guy who's seeing a woman or been seeing a woman that's asexual, I did say there's a heterosexual guy on my channel called Eddie, and he has been in a relationship with an asexual girl for over 2 years. And, you know, and it's a long distance relationship. So, and you don't have sex. So, yeah, I told the heterosexual guy that because I think it's important for him to know there's other people out there that are heterosexual that are in relationships with asexuals. Next year will be 3 years. Congratulations to Eddie. That's amazing. And I'm glad you see the beauty, you know. I wish more and more people would see the beauty of asexuals. I mean, because it's just, asexuals can be so affectionate. They really can, especially romantic asexuals. But, you know, in general, asexuals can be very loyal, very loving, very caring, very thoughtful. The relationships tends to mean a lot more to them, you know. And I wish even more asexuals would see that, you know. Like, I run asexual dating groups, but a lot of the time they're not even looking at other asexuals in the groups. They're too busy saying that, oh, I can't, you know, it's too difficult on dating sites. And it's like, yes, because if you're looking at heterosexual dating sites in general, most heterosexuals won't want to be in a relationship with an asexual because they will need sex. But, you know, within the asexual community, there's a lack of people paying attention to people in their own community. It's like, you know, if you're interested in a relationship, why not look within your own community first and foremost? You know, most people will have to move or travel for a relationship. It's just, you know, Sam says, Sandra, you have helped so many people and will continue to do so. Oh, thank you. Lots of love, my friend. Thank you. And Ray is having a conversation that he's in the bed with a pig, an actual pig on a farm at the moment. Just thought I'd add that in there for the 5-year anniversary video. Oh, dear me. Yeah, so it's been a very interesting journey, you know. In terms of like dating, I've dated some guys that aren't asexual. That's been quite interesting. I really want to be with an asexual guy though. I don't want to be in a relationship with a sexual, really. Not unless he categorically could live without sex. Obviously, Eddie's living without sex, and this guy that watches my channel all the time that has a woman he's been seeing that's asexual. You know, he sees the beauty of an asexual person. He wants to understand this person. And I think, to me, that's true love, you know. For me, true love is when the other person is kind of preoccupied with wanting to understand the person that they care about. They're preoccupied, instead of just thinking of themselves, they're preoccupied with wanting to know more about the other person, how that person ticks, what makes that person the way they are, how they've got to the way that their own life journey, as it were. And that, for me, is like more true love. You know, true love is about someone who wants to be there for the person, who wants to care for them, who wants to love them, who wants to be in their life, who in a way is effortless to actually be in that person's life and to naturally want to be with them, like no questions asked type thing. Do you know what I mean? And so I think that with this guy who's heterosexual that messages me about the woman he cares deeply about who's asexual, I'm not going to obviously give too much away because I can't. But, you know, I just think it's really nice of him to actually be so interested in an asexual person, really want to get to know her on a deep foundation, fundamental level and what makes her tick. To me, that's like true love. I mean, the guy hasn't said he's in love with this woman, but I think when a guy really loves a woman, he wants to know her ins and outs and he wants to understand her. He wants to make her feel good about herself in her own skin. And he wants to, like, just be there for her and understand her as she truly is in her own essence and admire her beauty and her difference. Eddie, I think it's been 8 years since I have not had bed stuff. 8 years since you've not had bed stuff. Not had sex, in other words, I think you mean, don't you? Or sexual stuff. 8 years, that's good, Eddie. Congratulations. I have been sex-free for 9 years in November 2020. We're in October now. So next month, actually, sorry, it's in October, but I don't know when it was in October. So I last had sex in October 2011, but I don't know what date it was in 2011. I have no idea. But I know in November I've never had sex with my ex. So, Ray is 13 years without any sex. That's good. You've got a world record so far here amongst the asexual and sexual people, Ray. That's really good. Yeah, I mean, I've been happily sex-free for 9 years. Sam, I'm almost 38 years, laugh out loud. Oh, yeah! Sorry, Sam, forgot that. Sorry. I guess I was thinking of people that have had sex before and you haven't. Well done, Sam. Okay, settle down. You're all, yeah, well done, Sam. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of everyone who's kept their virginity for themselves. I think it's awesome. I think anyone who's watching this now who is literally a virgin and hasn't had sex ever in their life, I think it's great. I don't think you should do it unless you really want to. I honestly don't. I think it's good you keep that for yourself. I think you should keep that for yourself. I think it's a very sacred and beautiful thing for you to have, you know, your own body and keep those things for yourself. You know, you don't need to go around doing that to be loved. And if you do, then the person don't really love you, to be quite honest, do they? Or not in the way that you want and need, right? So, yeah, I think it's just beautiful if you've kept your body for yourself all those years. I think it's incredible. Well done, Sam, and anyone else who's listening to this. You know, like, virgins can be shamed, you know, and I think it's disgusting. Why are you shaming people that actually keep the body for themselves and don't give their body away to others? I think that's a fantastic thing. I think it's incredible. You know, to be able to keep that for themselves and to be so stupid strong like that, it's something to be admired, not to be knocked down. You know, but for the people obviously who are asexual, thinking about having sex for the first time, the Asexual Guide to Sex book will be the most amazing book you've ever read in your life. It'll be so insightful. I think everyone in the world should get the Asexual Guide to Sex book. All the sexuals should always get the Asexual Guide to Sex book, because honestly, a lot of what's in the book is not taught in schools. You know, it's, you know, people just see blooming glorified sex stuff on TV and movies. They see porn. I don't watch porn. I don't like it. Bleh. But you know, but they watch all this stupid artificial stuff instead of the nitty-gritty reality of what sex is really about. And I just love the Asexual Guide to Sex book because it categorically proves asexuality is real. Not from some scientific evidence, but from actual genuine people evidence of how they've lived their lives and the way they feel and think about sex and their attitude towards it, you know? And the people that have took part in the Asexual Guide to Sex book, I mean, they are talking about their sexual life. They're talking about losing their virginity, which is the most important thing sexually, really, to a person. Do you know what I mean? Like giving your body to another person. They are sharing those intimate things. And some of them have found it difficult. because it's given them some flashbacks of incidents they'd rather not think of. And others have found their whole experience, this is the people who've been interviewed, very therapeutic, like cathartic, and feel good to get it all out in the open. So, but they've all wanted to participate in the book. I never ever have anyone in my books that do not openly want to participate and actively pursue participating. So I send details out of the book to a lot of people, and only a certain proportion get back to me. I don't chase up or pursue people. I want people in the book that really are behind the book. They're behind the meaning of it. They really want it to work. They really understand what I'm doing, which is helping to raise awareness of asexuality. That Asexual Guide to Sex book is to help raise awareness of asexuality, not just to help asexuals in the way, not just help asexuals in the way of the fact that it helps them to have sex if they want it, or helps them to think about whether they want to have sex, but helps them to make an informed choice where it's right for them to have it or not. But it also shows people in a very educational, hands-on, matter-of-fact way about what it feels like and is like to be asexual in a highly sexualized world, and consider having sex for the first time, and what that feels like when they do have it for the first time. Because don't forget, an asexual experience of sex in the main is very different to a sexual's experience of sex. It's completely different in many ways, in my opinion. And when you read the book, you'll just find it so super insightful, like nothing you've ever read on planet Earth before. Only I could do a book like that, obviously. But, my publishing imprint's called Quirky Books. And like I was saying, that's a huge, huge achievement for both asexuality and me personally as a writer, And I interviewed, like this is a book. I interviewed 46 asexuals around the globe, and I'm the 47th in the book. So, 47 asexuals in one book. It's a huge book. As you can see, it's about 450 plus pages in the printed. The link is down below, by the way, if you want to grab a copy. I do recommend reading it. It's very, very insightful. It's a good prequel to the Asexual Guide to Sex book as well. So looking forward, to what I want for asexuality, I want to desperately get it recognised as a sexual orientation globally. I really do. I honestly believe that's one of my main life purposes on planet Earth, and that's what I was granted by the powers that be. And I want this channel to grow. I want more and more people to know they're not alone. And it's great if we do get more heterosexuals in the chat who are actually with asexuals, because so many people are like, oh, like, why would a sexual person want to be with an asexual person? It makes no sense. And why would they want to go without sex? They're sacrificing themselves, and their life is so bad. It's like, no, actually, because they're getting a beautiful, beautiful asexual person out of a relationship. They get a beautiful human being who's kind, considerate, and caring usually, and who sees life and world in a completely different way, which is quite exciting and novel, really. Sam, Sam's talking about this Asexual Perspectives book. It was a great book for me to feel less broken and not invalid, and to see just how diverse the spectrum is. Thank you, Sam. Yeah, Asexual Guide to Sex. Don't forget to grab a copy below. It's very important you do. Honestly, you'll love it. It's really, really great. So, thank you, Sam. Yeah. I've had other people say that, actually, that when they read this book, they stopped feeling broken, they stopped feeling left out, not normal, and they can get on with their lives. I've had quite a few people say that. So, I want to write more and more books for asexuals. I've got another 3 books planned after this one. So this is my second book this is my first book for asexuals. Then I'm working on the Asexual Guide to Sex, which is my second one. And I've got 3 others planned. One of which Sam will be in, no doubt. Fabulous book. It has really helped me to understand myself better too. Oh yeah, get the Asexual Perspectives book, people. Sam recommends it. Link below. Yes. As you can see, I use it a lot, which is why the corners are like crumpled. I do have a neat copy up there on my shelf. So yeah, I really, really recommend getting that. It's a great prequel to the Asexual Guide to Sex book. And I want asexuals to buy the book, the Asexual Guide to Sex book. All of them, so we can get asexuality recognised on a global scale more. It's really important. It's important we grow this channel. It's important I continue doing the work for asexuals that I do. It's important I continue writing articles and blog posts. It's just important that we all help each other as a community. I think by having the chat here, you can make friends in the community, do you know, in a very unique and special way. And I think, you know, it's just beautiful. I'm really grateful and thankful to every single one of you that subscribes to this channel, that pushes that bell notification so you know when I go live, who comes on this show regularly, who supports me. Obviously, Sam is my best asexual friend, and they're always so supportive of me, always. And I always feel a great sense of gratitude to them and thankfulness that they're in my life and that they've stayed in my life all these years. And I look forward to a lot more beautiful years of wonderful best friendship together. And they're always buy my books all the time. Sam, it's very important in the ace community. I have found 2 best friends, several other good friends, and an amazing partner. You need to always keep doing what you're doing. Oh, thank you, Sam. I appreciate it. I don't actually see me ever stopping helping asexuals. It's like a compulsive thing for me. So if you say about OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder with but for me it's obsessive compulsive determination to get asexual recognized as a sexual orientation globally. It's my mission. So that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to go because I need some rest. I want to say thank you to everyone who supports this channel. Please continue to share it with your friends who may benefit from it. Really, you know, tell people about this channel. It's very important that we get more awareness spread. I want to say thank you to Ray. Lovely to see you tonight in chat. Lots of love to you. Thank you to Eddie. Lots of love to you. Nice to see you in chat. And thanks to my best friend, Sam. You're amazing. And yeah, until next time, Rachel, Quirky, and each other. If you haven't already given this video a thumbs up, please do so. And don't forget to share it with anyone you think may benefit from it. I'll see you on the next video live stream. Take care, Sam. Bye, Eddie. Bye, Ray. Bye, everyone else watching. Lots of love. Thank you. Take care. Bye.